Hey guys, so a couple people in Discord arguing me about spear, high stance, strong attacks, whether they're strong, middle of the range, or not anything to write home about. So before we begin, let me um, show my weapon. It is pretty standard. It doesn't have any attack damage to active skill or melee. It does have a flat constitution bonus that will affect everything, so that doesn't really need to be worried about. Um, I also have a damage bonus equipment minus that does affect your melee, I believe. It's the only one that does. I have Benzeitans, but I do not have versatility. I specifically took it off. I had some arm guards that had fatal thrust. I took them off because I just want to showcase just how um, strong attacks are versus active skills. And then I also have some gear that increase or decreases strong attack key consumption because I will be using quite a lot of strong attacks. And then, just regular stuff. I have Nekomata equipped because I just started item canceling, and the anima bonus for ninjutsu is kind of nice. I have to switch up my yokai abilities. Just it has nothing to do with this video. I'm explaining why, I have certain things equipped. This is all a test kind of. Anyways, I think I had this Sohaya, the guardian spirit you get from your mom with Gozuki attached to it instead of the Onibi. But like I said, I was trying the anima bonus. Anyways, let us begin. I'll show you the attack damage of a strong attack without the horn break because the horn break does increase the damage of the attacks. I will not be doing out of key or behind damage because that also increases the damage of attacks. Spoiler alert: strong attacks will lose out to a full triple threat, uh, but not by as much as you think. Okay, let's break the horn first, and for that, we use a water wheel. All right, so let's do a regular strong attack. 16, 16. Okay, now I'm switching to low stance. That's why I have triple threat. It does not affect the damage. My Arcana for it just gives max P, and I'll show that out here in a minute. Okay. 519, 958, 9, and 2027. I'll let him regain Q, and we'll try that one more time. 519, 959, and 2027. All right. And one more time. I gotta put it in my calculator here in a second. 501. Oh. 501. 926. Oops. I swear, every time you go to do it. 501, 926. Dang it. $19.58. Alright. So for that, I have 33.85. Okay? That is the damage of an entire triple threat. That's the 501, 926, and 1958. Alright. Now let's do one strong attack again. 1561. 1561 times 2 is what is 1561 times 2 is 3122. 3385 minus 3122 is 263. So, and I guess the reason I'm adding 2 strong attacks is because for as long as it takes to get off, you can't tell me you can't get 2 strong attacks plus 2 spear flourishes. If not 3, you know? I'm gonna go very casual and say you get only 2. And so with only 2 and your weapon not being awakened and you're not counting a spear flourish in between, which a single spear flourish would put the damage into like a respectable enough. Like, let's see what. I don't want to just talk out my ass. I want to make sure. 263 is the damage we need a spear flourish to do. To 243. So I guess triple threat minus would still be ahead by like 20 damage with a single spear flourish. However, that is not including what you could do with these talismans that include increased damage on strong attacks, or when your weapon is awakened, which does approximately 30% of your strong attack damage as extra damage. And that is where strong attacks really shine. So not only could you probably, I mean, realistically get 3, but let's say 2 strong attacks, you know, you'll also get the shockwaves that are attached to them, especially if you have a high sentience charge, which you can get pretty easily at later levels of the game in Dream of the Neo difficulty. So what do I think the best active skills are, if not triple threat? And honestly, it really depends. There's a couple skills that I like for different reasons. These are the skills I use. Body swap. It's mainly for when humans red eye attack you. You can body swap them before they get to you. Usually I'll burst counter them, but if I'm out of anima for whatever reason, or if I don't have room to run or dodge, body swap is pretty reliable. It'll get them out of that state. Water wheel, it's very useful for breaking horns. I don't use it a whole lot, but if I'm trying to break a horn, it is one of the most reliable ways to do so. Entangle, I don't use this a whole lot, but I'll use it maybe once or twice when fighting a human. Fatal Thrust is a godly move. More about that in a minute. Flying Monkey, I don't really use it. I use it for versatility. Cola Herd's pretty terrible occasionally if like the boss is huge, like Tadabashi or something, and I just have him out of key and I can bully him. I'll use it, but I don't really use it. It's more flashy than it is actual damage. Backslash, purely a versatility thing. Rainbow Ruse, another versatility thing. Thank God it gives versatility because I would not use it otherwise. Spear Bash, I actually do use Spear Bash. It's not great, but it's all right. Rising Dragon occasionally. I don't use Merciless Barrage. Spear Shove, godly for blocking opponents, especially if you use it in high stance. Or, I mean, you could stance swap it. I usually just put it in high stance so I don't have to, because when I usually use it, they're blocking, and I usually have to use it more than once, and I'm too lazy to switch back and forth every time just to get rid of their guard. Don't use Chidori. It is decent if you're fighting on the stairs and you're on the bottom and they have the high ground. In that case, it's decent. Resounding Lunge, trash skill. I don't even use it for versatility. Twisting Spear, occasionally I'll use it. Honestly, high stance strong is still stronger most times than Twisting Spears. Twisting Spears has, it does more damage, but the wind up time for Twist Up Spear is not worth it. I use it for versatility. I can just do a quick hold and then let go. If the boss summons like a puddle uh, that I can't go in, or I'll take damage, or it'll knock me out of key. What's that Odachi user? He's ice. He's every time he summons a dark realm, he summons like an ice puddle. Like I'll get outside of that and I'll use that. Tornado. I use I use the first hit of it, usually the shockwave, to get somebody up if they're knocked out of key, or if versatility stag. That's really it. Spearfall's trash. Windmill, trash. Spearfall's all right, but compared to Piercing Rain, the anima gain Piercing Rain gives, especially when you use Imperious Strike Arcana on it, is just insane. Twirl, not a big fan of the parry skills. I think the most parry skills I used was Odachi Bolting Boar, because it's actually reliable, and the Shrike on or Dual Swords. Fatal Thrust does not have a key pulse, so I use Reckless Slice on it. I put it on high stance. I just seem to have more luck with it. Spear Flourish is obviously decent. Twisting Spear is not that great, but occasionally it can be used. Spear Shove, amazing. I'll show it to you in a minute. Anima Gain on Piercing Rain, I'm not kidding you, it does a ton. And then Triple Threat, I have Deliberate Strike, just because you're going to get that perfect key pulse if you do it correctly anyways. And why not? And then, yeah. So the reason I say Fatal Thrust is so good is because compared to 1616, whoop, of course he'd. It actually does quite a bit of damage, and you can do a quick cast, or you can chase enemies with it. A lot of times, like if you're in the scrolls and you have like Oni bees or carousel umbrellas, I'll just chase them like this, and it'll usually you'll usually kill them in like 1 or 2 hits. And a lot of enemies after the first 2 hits will start to either block, or they'll move out of the way or something. But really, you only need a couple hits for the Oni bees or the carousel umbrellas. Gakis, Aberrant Soldiers, it does a lot of damage to for whatever reason, or it deals with them really well for some reason. Same thing with the birds. What are the birds called? The Karasu Tengu. It deals with those birds really well for some reason. You just got to make sure there's no key pulse, and you have to make sure they don't hit you out of key, because it'll hurt. I like to just use Nurikabe. It's 2 animal cost, and if you get hit while using a Soul Core, usually it doesn't knock you out of key. Not that I've noticed anyways. Yeah, so I think Fatal Thrust is actually the best skill for Spear in the game. Although it doesn't look very flashy, it's everything the Spear is. It's thrusting attacks, it's a lot of damage, it's chase, it's range, it's amazing. The one problem it's got, well, I guess it's got 2 problems. I guess I'll be generous, I'll give it 3 problems. One, the easiest one is everything likes to get out of the way. When you're spear thrusting, everything likes to move because it doesn't want to get hit with that. Or they decide they're going to get super armor and attack you through it anyways. Second problem is it doesn't have a key pulse. I've already talked to you about how to deal with that issue. And the third problem I find is if you are going for a final blow, or they're on the ground, you are going to go straight over them. You will not hit them. Really though, Fatal Thrust is such an amazing skill. It's so busted. So for blocking opponents, he didn't want to block, but he does a decent amount of key damage to begin with. Do you see how? That's another thing I wanted to bring about. I guess that Fatal Thrust one more time is for whatever reason the damage on the grapple does not seem to be as high as like a regular grapple. So I try to avoid using it against humans that are low key because unless like I'm surrounded by a bunch or they have a curse that I'm trying to get rid of as soon as possible because a regular grapple just seems to be better. So finding a soul core you could use to cancel out of that so you can hit him would probably be better just to get him in the regular grapple state compared to a Fatal Thrust grapple because while Fatal Thrust is amazing, Fatal Thrust's grapple damage is not as high as a regular grapple damage for whatever reason. And then lastly, I told you you're not going to be able to see it here. But the anima gain for the anima gain for piercing rain is just crazy. I was hoping that I'd get a second to, but anima just continues too fast in the dojo. I wish there was a way to turn the anima gain off on the dojo, but apparently there's not. What else? Spear Flourish, obviously good. What other skills did I not talk about? Yeah, I think that's it. Body Swap. It's very... Basically, when they get a red eye attack, you just get them like that. And it's not too hard to deal with. Well, I didn't think that'd kill him. Alright, here we go. Oh, he got caught on the pillar. Oh, sure. It's alright, he'll do it again. Really? There we go. See, with the ninjas, it takes a little more advancedness to it. Alright, he should have tagged me. You have to be a little more ahead of it than the other ones. See, just a little earlier than the other humans. And if you mess up, they'll kill you. And themselves. I'll let him get one off on me. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the proving my point on the high stance strongs and such. I think the spear is a really good weapon. I just learned with yesterday. I just learned how to item cancel. I am still practicing. I like to do it a little too soon. Quick attack seems to be the most consistent for me, but I have had a little luck on other skills. Or other attacks, but yeah, I think that high stance strong holds up to its name. It's a very strong attack, and it should not be underestimated, especially if you're new to the game or if you're experienced and you're just like, I don't know, you want to see like what really has a lot of damage potential. High stance strong has a ton of damage potential. The only downside to it is that it's a long windup. It leaves you pretty open, and high stance strong is actually a downward motion. So if you, unlike Chidori, where if you're at the bottom of the stairs and you have kind of an advantage because it's Chidori hitting upwards, if you're at the top of the stairs going down, you're going to hit pretty much all of your high stance strongs because it's a very downward motion. But for whatever reason, it has a pretty good range on the horns, as I'll show you here, and then I'll end the video. For whatever reason, that works like every time. I don't get it. Anyways, I appreciate you for watching, wasting your time with me. Thank you. Have a great day.